Okay, welcome back to the CounterStrike Casuals podcast. Oh, brilliant. Live.
We're back. What episode is this? We're not
40,
on 50 yet.
49, mate. 50 will be the one that we should be doing when we're together. And Mrs. Diz reminded me just then, can't you just do a podcast when you're together? I was like, yeah, we've got other things planned. So this is number 49. That's mad. We're actually so close. 50 will be post blast, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
Yeah, it's all gonna be good, isn't it? It's all good.
Because we'll be at Blast as well, for those that haven't been listening to the podcast.
And there's like a UK CounterStrike link up on the Friday that I've just found on Twitter. And it's like we didn't get the invite. No, it's like an open invite, but there's nothing on Saturday, so that's gutting because I think we could have just gone and just been those awkward guys in the corner, like pretending we're part of the scene.
Yeah, well, maybe we should.
We're gone Friday. Yeah, it starts at 12. Anyway, let's not get into our diaries right now. Right, what we've got to talk about. I feel like you may have led the way with the topics this week. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Yala.
Well, I feel like you have, mate, but Yala, you, I think you should take it, to be fair, mate. You've made this call.
I did make this call. I don't think it was a hard call to call the MongolZ winning this tournament, considering the highest ranked team were actually Astralis, and I don't know. I just felt like they were going to win it, man, given how they've been this year. And they did. They won. They beat Nip, who had to be the standout surprise team. But then actually, when you look at, I just think when you look at the teams, like, I don't know, it's not that surprising, really, is it?
Nip... Yeah, well, when you look at MongolZ games, right, they didn't really play anyone. They beat Heroic. Yeah, well done. They lost to Astralis in the best of one.
Oh yeah, but there was so many best of ones. It was like when I looked at one day when I looked when it was on, and I looked at the results for the day on like HLTV. There was like 30 games or something. I was like, what the fuck? How many games? And everyone was just playing everyone. It was like yalla. Everyone's just playing.
Yeah, I quite liked how many games there were, but best of ones are a bit dead.
Mate, what's the point? It's so hard to keep track of like who's actually performing against who and doing what. Move my camera down a bit. I've got a chain on that. Anyway, yeah. So I didn't keep up with the best of one stuff because it's just too much. You need like a Excel spreadsheet to work out what's going on, aka the group table.
Yeah. Well, fair play to MongolZ. They've tweeted out that they're the first Asian team to win an S tier event. Are you giving them that crown?
Yeah, I've seen lots of talk about this. Was Yala an S tier event or a big event? I mean, personally, I don't think it is. I don't think it's a massive big event. When Nip, Ninjas and Pajamas come second, Furia, who have been awful this year, come third / fourth, Astralis, and mate, honestly, no. Complexity with the one team I thought were going to do a bit more than they did, and they end up near the bottom. So, what do you think? Would you think this is a big event? It's not. I'll tell you, no, it's not.
It's not an S. It's not an S tier event. I mean, they won a decent amount of money, but these days, you know, money in CounterStrike's just gonna skyrocket. I can imagine. I mean, they're doing it online events that win this much money. So the best team there were Astralis, and yeah, they've improved a tiny bit since Device has been in-game leader, but they're still not a top 5 team, are they? And like you said, I thought Complexity might do a little bit better. But I think most interestingly here is Nip. You know, they put some good results away. I think
they did. I think they beat teams though. Like they beat Fnatic, Fury, who haven't been good this year. Like this is in the playoff stage. Like I don't know. It's still
beat Astralis in one game. Well, the best of ones, aren't they? So it's really hard to say. But I mean, you take what you can get with Nip, right? if
Yeah,
you
well,
win it.
this you definitely need to take some confidence if you're them, considering how bad they've been. And I guess with Exist coming in, that wrinkle guy, like you start to feel like it could be the beginning of something, but then it's so typical us and the CounterStrike scene just to say that off the back of one deep run to a substandard tournament as to
Yeah,
what we've just
I'm not super high on them. Like, don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but I think they've improved.
The wrinkle guy looks decent. Like I saw some highlight clips and stuff just from
They've got
some like
Exit on as their coach as well, who is
Exist. Yeah,
the old
yeah,
uh, yeah, Exist. Sorry, the heroic coach.
yeah.
I think that's a good call. I do. I've heard a lot of hate around Rez, like, oh, why they're keeping him and whatnot. I've seen some pretty good things out of Rez. Like, I think he's got a high ceiling. He has got a low floor as well. But if you can surround him with the right people, you know, that he feels comfortable with and whatnot, he could be a good player.
Potentially, I just think they beat the teams you'd expect them to probably at least challenge or have a good chance of beating, and then they kind of got demolished in the final against the Mongols. Other than the first map, which was pretty tight. Um, and interestingly, I was quite shocked that Mongols lost that. 'Cause I thought Mongols had a really good ancient like stats. They were good on ancient from what I remember. I may have even watched a bit of this. I can't remember. This weekend's a bit of a blur for me because I was just out all the time. And I thought ancient was one of the Mongols picks. So don't know. I don't know. I think with Nip, it's like you know you need to go see them do something at a real tournament, don't you? That's it. I mean, I don't know what events they've got up and coming.
Are you saying the same for Mongols as well?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, if right, Mongols are now playing in Yongship. I can't pronounce
It's
that
Sweden.
one.
It's in Sweden, yeah.
It's Sweden.
Yeah, that's all we need to say.
Yeah, which again, the quality of teams there, right?
Well, yeah, you put that in the notes. I looked at it and then just closed it. It's like
It's the same
Mongols
caliber,
should. Well, it's lesser.
less. Yeah, yeah. Party
Uh,
astronauts are there, brilliant. MIBR. But again, Ent's complexity are there from Yala, so it's it's
I
just
can imagine Falcons, sorry, rubbing their hands, thinking we could do this realistic. This is a fairly realistic tournament for us. If they do shit in this, there's going to be a big roster change, or there needs to be.
I feel like there already does need to be right, and I feel like they're
I
accepting.
don't. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that well. I think Mongols are much better than Falcons. And complexity, if they pull their finger out, they could win this. But it's, I think sometimes with these tournaments, the half decent teams, so like complexity, for example, they might be thinking, oh, we could win this. They don't play as well because maybe they're a bit too confident.
Mm.
So has this moved the needle for you at all with the Mongols?
Well, I mean, mate, pretty high on them before. Like Senzu's sick, and then 9-10 played well at this game. So I don't know. I quite like the Mongols, man.
Okay, so are Mongols,
They're 11th
where are
in the
they for
world.
you?
They're ranked 11th in the world. I'm shocked they're not gone top 10
Would you,
after that.
would you put them in your top 10?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, I probably wouldn't have Heroic in there, who are 8th at the moment. I'd probably swap the Mongols for Heroic. That's a more sensible position there. The rankings in CS at the moment is so weird though, because every tournament's different. Every tournament someone else wins, or every tournament someone has a deep run. It seems to be very choppy, changey. Like you can't really call it at the moment. And you know, Mouse sitting at the top again, like feels like they've been there for a while now, and it's like I don't know. I'm not sure they are, but then who do you put there as well? So it's a weird one, isn't it?
I know well, I would put Spirit as number one, if I'm honest.
Wow, Spirit,
They,
yeah.
you know, the last couple of tournaments, yeah, they've not been performing. But just as personal ranking, I would say, yeah, they probably are the best team. But going back to what we talked about. I think it was on the last episode. This kind of bizarre scenarios at the minute, and it everything being up in the air. Do you think it's just with CS2 being new? Do you think it's this MR12 stuff, like with Navi winning the major and then just doing nothing afterwards? And then we have another weird win, didn't we? Oh, G2 just fucking winning with a
Dallas.
standing, and Stewie 2K and Nexa playing absolutely dog awful. What do we take anything out of this? Is it just is that CS? Is it with the updates coming thick and fast? Is it MR12? Why are the why are the stronger teams not winning?
I don't know, mate. I think. Well, look at FaZe. Rain was at this blasting, moaning again about them being tired and run down. I think it's the end of the season, right? After Blast and Young there's a break. There's a player break. Probably just feels like we're at the end of the season and everyone's just a bit burnt out, maybe, and ready. And when you get tired and when you get fatigued, everyone just starts going a bit wild or playing a bit wild, right? So I don't know, that combined with it still being CS2, although you feel like CS2 as a structure and as an actual game has been pretty settled for a while. No, there's nothing dramatic changing. Well, we don't know what's around the corner, but there's not been a dramatic like mechanic change, has there, recently, other than the odd map
I would,
map change to vertigos and you know.
no, I agree with that. I think the teams are that close. So you do have the top teams like Spirit, FaZe, Vitality, Mouse, G2, if you want to throw them in there. And I think there's so many good teams now that if they're not firing on all cylinders, they'll get beat. And even if they think they'll win a game,
Mm,
they'll lose it because every fucking team in that top 10, top 15, maybe you could even say top 20, can win on any given night if the other team's not locked in 110%.
yeah, yeah,
And I just think that's it. I just think all the teams are so close. Like, Eternal Fire at 13, they're a fucking good team. They could beat anyone in the top five on, any given night. I'm not saying they're going to do it in a best of three, but if that team's not switched on, I think they could.
yeah.
Look at like these teams, like these super teams, come popping up now and again. Like, you know, VP just not doing anything. C9 when they got that major squad, where the fucking Cloud9 and
Well,
not even
they've got no team,
oh
have
they've not
they?
got a team, have
Yeah.
they? Yeah, fucking
Have
hell.
they even got a
But
profile? What's their profile saying on HLTV right now? Their only players are
have a look.
Boomage and Axar.
Okay. They'll pull something out soon, I'm sure. I do feel like there is going to be some. Um,
Well, I thought Heavy God was going there. What happened to that?
oh yeah. Well, maybe he is. Maybe he is. They've not said anything if they so. Yeah, I just think everyone's so close at the minute, and I think any team, if whoever you're playing in the top 20, you should be locked in because otherwise you'll be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
I just think maybe that's happened with G2. I was thinking they're a little bit comfortable because there's no pressure on them, right? So they were just like, and I feel like G2 are one of those teams that have a lot of pressure on and kind of don't deal with it too well.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe Nico and Huxley more than Monacy.
But it seems like the
But
top 10, top 10, there's not many teams that deal with pressure well other than like FaZe. Sometimes
I mean,
Vitality when it feels like they're all on the same page or like when they're focused and
funnily enough, which no one in the CS community would agree with this, I think Mouse deal with pressure pretty well, even though
they
they don't
haven't
deal too well on stage.
they haven't won in the most high pressure situation of being on stage.
Yeah, but like when Spirit first, come on the scene with Donk and were just wiping everybody, who were the team to kind of like knock them off that win streak? It was
Yeah, yeah.
Mouse. But yeah, on stage, yeah, yeah, maybe not the greatest, but they've still got time to prove, and they're all still young, right? So Mouse could get there.
Yeah, it's true. True.
I feel like they've had, with Yala coming up after Dallas. I feel like since Dallas, most of the top teams have had a bit of a rest.
Well, this is why, like, I don't know, FaZe. I kind of got it at this when they had like all those deep runs they were getting to every final. I can kind of understand that and why it feels a bit like you need a rest and you're going so deep in tournaments. You're playing like a lot of games and a lot of matches, but it feels like they're not. You know, they went to Dallas, didn't they went out quite early, had a bit of a break. Now they're going to London, which you know they're European based. Not gonna be that. It's not that hard. Whether I don't know if they're where they're all based exactly, but like Denmark, I guess, or near there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just a bit tiresome hearing about how you're tired and stuff, and you probably have had a good enough break. I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Unless you're in their shoes or you kind of following them around, it's hard to say.
I think work
Yeah,
is work for everyone, isn't it? Is what I'm learning from being in this scene and kind of trying to understand what people are doing. The idea to us of playing CounterStrike all day, it seems lovely, but when you're probably just having to learn strats for half a day, do drills, I guess, then do some practices.
yeah. I mean, it's completely other world than what I'm used to. Like sat in front of the computer for that long, I
Yeah, you
think I'd
can't even
struggle.
do.
I can't even comprehend. Like, yeah, I play 3 games of CS and I'm done.
Oh, that's not going to bode well for this weekend. Well, Friday anyway. Um. Anyway, yes. Well, work is work. That's it. Some people just still can't be bothered to do it. Well, not do it properly, but get tired and fatigued, which is completely fair enough. Um. Let's move on from Yala and the Mongols. Bloody hell, it looks bright on my face when I go on that page. Um. Go on. Should we talk about it?
Well, since we're blasted in London this weekend, let's talk about some British CS, which for most of our listeners will think, what the fuck is British CS?
It's not really much of a scene at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very small scene,
But it has
but
been trying to be held up by Into the Breach and then rebuilding their whole team around Smooya.
Smooya.
Which, you know, we are supporters of Smooya, but like, man, that guy has baggage, I swear, wherever he goes. He just brings like loads of ag, it feels like, and loads of drama. I don't know if drama's the right word, but like just like ag, and it is drama, isn't it? There's always a bit of drama with Smooya.
Yeah, Smooth's one of those guys. He just says what he thinks, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, he'll say it. He doesn't hold back. So what's going on? They've got Smoothia.
Yeah. So they've Into the Breach, and they've given it the big one. And to be fair, the guy that runs or organises Into the Breach, like I follow him on Twitter, he's always tweeting like,
Sam, yeah.
yeah. So he comes across as like one of these guys, like pretty switched on. Like he's pretty open, he's pretty transparent about running an esports organization. And again, we don't know the ins and outs. You can only kind of look from the outside in and tweets and stuff. But I think he runs it pretty well. Like I think
Yeah, it seems it from what I've seen. Like I'm not big on Twitter, but from the little bits I've seen, he seems like a really decent guy, and he's quite honest and open as well, like you say.
yeah, even after when they kind of just uh, broke the recent CS roster apart, he was just kind of saying like, you know, we had some sponsors lined up and that didn't kind of come through, and it's just not feasible to have a CS team at the moment, and we tried to hold some money back from the major and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, we'll be back with a new team, and lo and behold, here we are. They announced Smooya. They're now doing this thing which is a bit annoying though, when they're like, I don't know, they announced the former Bad News Eagles Guild Eagles IGL yesterday. Let me just check. Mate, I don't think they've announced anyone else. It's like I don't know.
That was today, right?
No, it was yesterday they announced announced their IGL.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I don't know what I thought they were. I kind of assumed they were going to be doing one a day, but they haven't. Anyway, yeah. So they announced Synopsy. So they've got IGL sorted and Smooya. Smooya plays AWP or like proper aggressive rifler, doesn't he? I don't know if he's going to be AWPing in this role. Will he be AWPing? I don't know.
Smooya?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
I'd assume so. He usually ups, right?
Usually, yeah. So that means there's room for potentially 3 riflers. Do you know what? Weirdly, before this, I kind of remember weirdly. I thought Heavy God might be going there after the Into the Breach tweeting it, because he was like saying that it's a stacked roster. He was like, this roster is sick, and then they were tweeting loads of flags, and I was like, oh my god, there must be some mad stuff. And then obviously with him potentially going to Cloud9, that might not be happening. But yeah, I mean,
that would be pretty good.
what do you think then? What's the vibes? Are we excited? Are we not? I mean, I for one am excited to see Smooya in a proper team. It's kind of, even if he didn't join Into the Breach, he used to play for them back in the day, though. But even if he did join Into the Breach, the British organisation, like even if he'd gone to a Monty, I don't know who would be good for, I don't know, yeah, like a Fnatic or someone again. Like I'd still be excited to see him play. So if anything, the only thing with it being Into the Breach is like they're not going to be in as many tournaments maybe as like a top 20 team that's already there. So I don't know when we'd see them play or when we're going to see them play. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm excited to see Smooya in a team. I do think he could have made it onto a better team if he don't know if he wanted to, but who knows why he's not. I mean, we've said that for a while, haven't we? So if they surround him with the right pieces, they could be an exciting team. But sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Like, do you want to be winning tournaments, or are you just trying to make money? Are you like,
trying to banter and get clicks on a stream?
yeah? I mean, obviously every org's trying to make money. That's the whole purpose. So are you going to do that by winning tournaments? Are you trying to be like you're just going to win like low tournaments, kind of British tournaments? Well, not European, but like lower level tournaments.
Yeah.
Or are you trying to be like an S tier or tier 2, tier 1 team? Either way, it's someone for us to follow, right? It's closer to home. We can keep our eye on them, and I guess it's good for UKCS. I heard Messi's coming over as well.
Imagine that'd be jokes, wouldn't it? Well, I'm looking forward to seeing who they announce, and look, we'll be back in them, man. We do like to see Into the Breach. I was just checking their HLTV profile, and they've got no events on there or anything yet planned. Obviously, it's only got 2 team members, so yeah, man, I'm excited to see what happens and who else they add to the mix. Into the beach, as our friend likes to say.
Well, yeah, into the bin. They get called all sorts, don't they?
Yeah.
So next up, the biggest news, the best news, the most hype, the most gassed, the most exciting news this weekend. Wagwan.
We're going to. It's only really that exciting for us because we're just like.
Because we're going.
Because we're going and.
Yeah, of course.
We always have a laugh at these things, but yeah, I guess this podcast is for us more than anyone.
If you're remotely into CounterStrike and you've not been to an event, get yourself down to one because it is good.
It is good fun, to be fair. Yeah, we're going to the semi-finals, aren't we, on Saturday? So, come on then. Teams there: Vitality, FaZe, G2, Spirit, Na'Vi, Astralis, VP, and Saw are there because the spring showdown showing or something. But anyway.
Saw aren't the worst team in the world, but I'm pretty excited. We're going. We've got some top teams there. We thought m0NESY wasn't going.
Yes, but
and then we found out that now we think he is. Is that confirmed? Or
no, he might not make the first games, or he's on his way.
Well, I kind of heard this on Twitter a while ago, so I didn't put anyone from G2 in my fantasy team.
Oh, did you not? Just because of Monacy?
Well, yeah. Would you? If fantasy
Um,
wasn't on G2, would you?
I put
This
I
isn't
put
Puxy,
I know,
right?
but I put Hunter in because I'd already done my team and because he started playing a bit better and just because of money. Like,
Oh, you kind of just go like random teams though, don't you? Like one from random teams. I go two teams.
yeah, you do go all in, don't you? Yeah, yours is probably the right approach. Well, I went Hunter because I wanted someone from G2 and I didn't have much money for anyone else. So, I think it was like, oh, I could have got Hooksy or Hunter or Nexus, so I went Hunter.
Oh,
Um,
as soon as I thought Monacy's not there, there's no hope. You think they can get Stewie 2K to replace Monacy and win it?
no, well they were gonna have Taz, which it would have been,
Awful.
yeah, it just would have been like, they just wouldn't have got anywhere, would they? Like, let's be real, they just wouldn't have got anywhere. But apparently he's flying to get his passport and then going to try and fly and get over. Their first game is tomorrow, and it's against it's against Spirit. So
Yeah,
you
don't bother.
you fucking really want Monacy there, right? I mean, that's a great opening game as well. They're all best of threes as well, so it's like straight into like some proper matchups. In Group B, that's it. Spirit G2, and then it's VP and Vitality. In Group A, it's FaZe, Saw, Navi, Astralis. So let's do this. Hey, let's just do this. FaZe, Saw. Who's winning that one?
FaZe.
Yeah. Can you do pick'ems on it? Oh, never mind. I'm not going to talk about this while I'm live. Navi, Astralis.
Ooh. On paper, Astralis should win that, right? But yeah,
I think I'd give it
I
to
don't know.
Astralis.
That's a tough one. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I think I'd give it to Astralis at the moment. I just don't really have the feels for Navi. Like, but again, the way CS is going, this tournament could be won by like a Navi or Astralis.
Yeah.
It could be won by any of these kind of anyone there. Anyone, yeah, I was about to say anyone there other than Saw can win this tournament. It feels like. Okay, so we're gonna go FaZe and Astralis to win first. Then in Group B, Vitality, VP.
Vitality and Spinks is gonna fucking sort himself out, and he's gonna play really well.
Okay. Spirit G2. That depends on if they've got Monacy, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's assume they've got Monacy.
Okay, let's.
Spirit.
Really?
Yeah.
Mate, they didn't look themselves though, did they?
They've not, but I think they can beat G2.
And who do you want to win?
Who would I like to win the whole tournament?
Yeah. Okay. No. Who do we want in the final, and who do we want to win? What would the best final matchup be?
Do you know what? I was thinking FaZe Vitality, but then I would love a FaZe Spirit because last time they played each other, that was such a good game. If they're both firing on all cylinders, and like that would be a sick game.
That would be my perfect matchup: FaZe Spirit, and then FaZe win.
So we want them in the semi-final, right? Let's work out what game we're going to be watching.
Well, it depends on it's Group A first place. Okay, so then it depends who. If we were saying FaZe Astralis win the first games, then who wins out of that FaZe Astralis? Who wins that?
FaZe one of those, like they're so up and down. FaZe should win it. But...
FaZe will win that, I think. I think they win all their group games and they get to the semi-finals, and then we'll see FaZe in the semi-final.
You're hoping.
And then, yeah, I think so.
FaZe Vitality in the semis.
Well, because then it would be Vitality Spirit, is what we think. And then Spirit win that. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I feel like whenever I look at a tournament chart, I'm just stupid. Like,
okay, so it'll be in the quarters. It'll be third place from A versus second place in B. and then second place in A against third place in B. They'll play each other in the quarters.
Yes,
The semis
really. Let's just
will
hope
be.
we see FaZe Spirit at some point, whether it be in the semi-final or the final. That would be fun. Could it actually happen? No, it would only ever be in the final if we. No, the way we're looking at it depends on all our results coming in, obviously, as well.
Yeah, they'll probably be in. If they both win these groups, they'll both be in opposite semi-finals. So they could face each other in the finals if they win their semi-finals, obviously.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just stop trying to work that out then.
Yeah, that's great listening.
What's our plan when we get there then? Are we going to try and meet up?
Are we going to try and do any content, or are we going to be too drunk?
This is the problem, man. We always have ideas for content, guys, and like we always have like these. Oh, we're gonna do this, but then like me and Brady probably see each other in person twice a year. So then when it actually happens, we just end up having like 20 pints, and then I just end up shouting for Carrigan in the stand.
Yeah, we'll just drink as many drinks as we can. Count how many beers we've had, and just shout and be annoying.
Yeah, and then just go mad if FaZe win.
Yeah, take your top off.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
Maybe if you're interested at all, just follow us on the socials. We might do some updates on there or something.
Definitely going to do some updates in there. I've got some ideas. All right. Listen, what else shall we touch on then? Yonkapin we just mentioned earlier very briefly. MongolZ go win that. That'd be sick. And then they'll just basically climb up the ladders. And then when we can actually see them at a proper tournament, that'd be good fun. When it's a proper tournament, it'll be after the player break when they're playing in the esports World Cup. The MongolZ. That's where it's like 400 grand fucking prize. That's like a proper tournament that they'll be at. Where they're against like Mouse, Vitality, FaZe, G2, Spirit, like proper teams. So sadly, if they do well at Yonkaping and then the player break hits, it's quite a bad time for the player break to hit for them because they're on like a right roll. Like they could have done without that, just going straight into a tournament like this, especially if all these other teams just can't seem to get any consistency and also feel like they need a break. You know, the MongolZ can just come in there and go, well, we're just fucking clearing up, but hey ho.
They've been good for a while though, so I'm sure they'll be fine. Especially if all the other teams are a bit on the rocks still, they might start switching and changing. And if MongolZ stay the same, we'll see.
We'll see. All right. Anything else you'd want to talk about, or should we keep it relatively short? I mean, we're still running at 35 minutes to be fair, but
no, mate. I think we've touched on everything. I think we've got a big episode after this.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot to talk about, and yeah, you'll get our opinions on Blast London.
All right then. Well, let's fucking do it. Let's go have fun and GG it. See ya.
GG's. Bye.